Welcome to some Monkey Knife Fight picks here on Fantasy Focus. It's a little NFL playoff edition. I'm Derek Tate alongside the one and only Ryan Levy as we are breaking down our picks for the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Buffalo Bills in the NFL Wildcard round of the playoffs. So if you haven't heard of this before, Monkey Knife Fight is a prop bet site for whether it be NFL, NBA, any sport you can really think of. Hell, even esports. So if you're somebody that likes to do some degenerate gambling on prop bets for every single game, Monkey Knife Fight is the place to be. Go to monkeyknifefight.com. When you create an account and make your first deposit, just remember to use the promo code FOCUSED. That'll actually match your first deposit up to $50. Levy, are you in Florida right now wearing a beanie cap and a sweater? Come on, man.
Good morning. I am in Northern California in an Airbnb, and I'm actually recording from a garage right now, Derek. It's pretty chilly in this garage. It's about 50-something degrees, so I know it's no Cadillac, Michigan. No, I'm excited to get warmed up with a little NFL playoffs. It's hard to believe it's here already, man. I'm ready to make some money on Monkey Knife Fight.
Yeah, it's kind of weird not playing any fantasy football in week 17. Now I'm trying to gear my brain back up to make a little bit of money, but prop bets is really where it's at. You're going to really enjoy every single one of these episodes that we're breaking down our Monkey Knife Fight picks. So again, check it out at monkeyknifefight.com. Got some people joining live. If you guys want to interact about some of our Monkey Knife Fight picks for this particular game, go ahead and sound off in the comments, but we'll go ahead and get her started. So we've got a more or less competition, Josh Allen versus Phillip Rivers. It's pretty simple. You got to pick more or less for a given yardage total through the air in this tilt. So we got Josh Allen, the more or less set at 299.5, basically 300 yards, and then Phillip Rivers at 266.5. So we'll start with Josh Allen because few players have had a better breakout 2020 campaign than that former Wyoming quarterback there for the Buffalo Bills. And Bills Mafia, by the way, they're allowed to have some fans in the stands for this game. How about that?
Watch out, man.
Furniture sales are about to go up there at Buffalo, man, I tell you. So, but how do you see this one playing out for Josh Allen through the air against the Indianapolis Colts defense?
Yeah, I know the Indy defense is no joke, but they have proven this year that they can be beat through the air. For me, I want to lean more. If you look at the body of work for Josh Allen outside of last week against Miami when he didn't really need to do much, right? And Pittsburgh a few weeks back, he's been pretty consistent in terms of the yardage, right? You look, he had against New England 320, Denver 359, San Fran 375. Then he had a couple there with Arizona and LA, under 300, but Seattle over 400. So call me crazy, but the way Buffalo runs is through the air, man. They're not that great at running the ball. They need Josh Allen to have a big game if they're going to win. They're 6.5 point favorites here, and the over/under set at 51. There's going to be some fireworks here.
Yeah, in particular, I'm not expecting a huge day for Zach Moss or Devin Singletary or anybody on the ground for the Buffalo Bills. So I'm with you. I actually think that Josh Allen, it's going to be a higher scoring game. I think. I don't know if you can pull up the Vegas over/under
51.
51. Yeah. So I mean, they expect this to be a pretty high scoring game. And I do too. So I'm actually going to go with the more for Josh Allen. Do I love the fact that it's going to be in Buffalo in January? Do I think that that's the best for potential throwing conditions? Probably not, but I'm still willing to bet that Josh Allen is going to do his thing against a pretty decent Colts defensive unit. But let's flip the coin to the other side when it comes to Phillip Rivers. 266.5 against the Bills defense, which has gotten a little bit better as the year has progressed. How do you see it playing out for old P-Rib and the boys?
This one's tough for me. Like you said, the Bills defense has really turned it around. They've looked pretty solid lately. I really want to lean under here. I think if the Colts have a realistic chance to win this game, I don't think it's on the arm of Phillip Rivers. I think it's on their defense and Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is going to have to touch the ball 20-plus times for them to win this game. If they fall behind, though, naturally, Rivers is going to have to throw a lot. I just don't know if he's got it, man. I want to lean under here, or less, I should say.
See, for me, I do believe that Phillip Rivers has it. And don't get me wrong, I think that you're right. The formula, if I were to write out a script or a formula, I do believe that running the football would be the best way for the Colts to win this game on the road. The problem is I've seen that Colts running game inconsistent at times, even though I like their unit up front with the offensive line. But yeah, man, I just don't know if I think they're going to be able to impose their will against the Buffalo Bills running the football down their throat. I still think that they're going to fall behind. I think Josh Allen's going to put up some points, and you're going to have to see Phillip Rivers throw the football to keep up with Josh Allen, potentially kind of a shootout type of deal. And I think that if that's the case, then we're going to see Phillip Rivers go more. So we got our first split, pal.
So you want to go more? I mean, it makes sense. If you believe the Bills are going to win this game, do you think they cover the 6.5 points?
I don't. I think no. I don't think they cover the 6.5 points. I think it's a close one.
I do too.
I mean, I feel like that's a pretty big spread for a Colts team that I think has a legit chance to win this game. I think that spread's way too high for me.
Fair enough. Let's move on to a rapid fire. These are a little bit easier to me. I don't like to start with the more or less straight up.
Then why did you? I mean, you had it on that screen.
I just that was the one that popped up first. I wanted to go with rapid fire like we normally do, but you jumped the gun on me. So we
were ready to press record for a while. I don't know what to tell you, man. So let's move on to rapid fire, though.
All right, rapid fire. If you guys have never played rapid fire monkey knife fight, it's basically pitting two players against each other. Here we've got Allen versus Rivers in passing yards, receptions, Diggs versus Beasley, receiving yards, John Brown versus T.Y. Hilton. You got to get all three of them correct, and you will get 5x your buy-in. So I'm going to throw a 5 spot on this, win 25. Let's start with passing yards. Hater, what are you thinking here? You're getting a 33.5 yard advantage for P-Riv, so plus 33.5. What do you think?
I'm actually going to go with Phillip Rivers. I believe, again, I think he's more than capable of throwing for 300 yards in a game that's high scoring, and the Colts are trying to keep up with the Buffalo Bills. It does make me a little bit, and not to mention too, when it comes to just the pure passing output for Josh Allen, there is a chance that Cole Beasley doesn't play. Stephon Diggs also has that little red tag next to him, which means he's dealing with an injury of sorts. So he may not be a full go, but I expect Diggs to play this weekend. So, those things considered, I'm going to lean with Phillip Rivers, who's getting 33 yards.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm okay with it. 33 is a pretty good chunk of change there. If it was like 25, I probably wouldn't do it, but 33 is a little bit appetizing for me. My only concern here is on the season, P-Riv has only thrown for over 300 yards 3 times. So it does make me a little bit nervous, but I just don't know that that we're going to see a full-blown shootout here. So I'm comfortable taking the yardage. Give me the advantage here. And just to be clear, guys, if it's your first time playing a rapid fire or any monkey knife fight contest, if one of these guys doesn't play, your contest is void. So you're not going to lose your money if Diggs or Beasley doesn't play. Hopefully they both play because I think the Bills need them, but we'll see what happens. Let's move on to receptions here. We've got a 2.5 reception advantage for Cole Beasley, so plus 2.5. Do you see Diggs getting 3 more catches than Beasley in this game?
I do, and the only reason I'm not even 100% sure that Cole Beasley is going to play. So I mean, because he's still dealing with a knee injury and he hasn't practiced in a bit. So for me, I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs. That makes it easy for me, and not to mention, this is playoffs, man. I'm not going to do the Jim Mora thing, to quote that soundbite that everybody's heard 9,000 times. But I'm just saying it is the playoffs, and one thing that in the playoffs is that you got to go to your playmakers, you got to go to your big play threats, and that's definitely been Stephon Diggs, who has had a phenomenal year, his first year in Buffalo. So yeah, man, I'm going Stephon Diggs, and I'd be surprised, like you already mentioned, though, when it comes to monkey knife fight, if Cole Beasley does not go, you don't have to worry about it. It's not like you lose your money. So but that being said, if Beasley's not 100%, then I just think that we're going to see Stephon Diggs get peppered with targets.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, I'm not going to get cute on this one. Shout out to Dio in the comments there, longtime listener and commenter. Beasley hasn't practiced in over a week. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm not going to risk it on Beasley there. I'm going to go Diggs. Give me the receiving champ. Let's go. Go Bills. All right,
Yep.
moving on to the third section here, receiving yards. We got John Brown versus T.Y. Hilton. John Brown is going to get 5.5 plus 5.5 yards. What are we thinking here?
This one's a bit interesting. I mean, if we're predicting a big day for Phillip Rivers, which I expect a pretty decent day through the air for Phillip Rivers, you got to think that T.Y. Hilton's going to be a part of that. Is there a place, though, where John Brown sees an extended amount of work? Because we've already just mentioned that Diggs and Beasley are both dealing with an injury in their own right. I know we've seen, plenty of Gabriel Davis recently, but I'm going to go with T.Y. Hilton. I mean, it's only 5.5 receiving yards. If it was up around 15, 20, then I would definitely lean John Brown. I think the line is set pretty well here. Hilton hasn't been lighting it up yardage wise, but I just have a feeling that if they're going to have to make plays through the air to keep up, then they're kind of similar players. I just see T.Y. seeing a little bit more volume.
Yeah, I'm with you on the volume piece here. This one's tough for me though, because John Brown, I love me some John Brown, and this guy can bust it out in one big play. But yeah, if we think the Bills are going to be playing from ahead here, T.Y. is probably going to get more targets. The one piece that makes me want to lean John Brown is Cole Beasley being banged up. But I am comfortable throwing a Colt in here. So let's go. Let's fire it in there for Mr. T.Y. Hilton. I almost, just contradicted myself.
Mr. John Brown. Yeah, I get it. I mean, you can just say, hey, I'm not picking Mr. John Brown. I'm going with T.Y. Hilton.
There we go. So I threw 5 on that to win 25. Shall we wrap up with a big dog, Tater?
Yeah, this is what I call the old big boy one. It's where you're picking 6 for 6. I personally like if they have a rapid fire, or if they have a rapid fire 6 for 6, that's actually where I like to go in that direction. But it seems like they only have more or less. So you got to pick 6 for 6. Again, if some of these players don't play, then your bet is null and void. But let's act like they're all going to go, and let's go. So let's go. We already went with Josh Allen. We're going with the more. Even if Cole Beasley doesn't play, I still find I think there's enough big plays to be made with Stephon Diggs, with John Brown, with Gabe Davis, and even some of the tight ends and backs out of the backfield to make enough plays to get to that 300-yard mark. Same thing with Phillip Rivers. We already talked about it. I'm going over on the P-Riv. 7.5 receptions for Stephon Diggs, though. Personally, my gut's telling me more. I just feel like he's the best playmaker Josh Allen has on this team by a wide margin. I know the Colts are going to do what they need to do defensively to try to slow him down, but I feel pretty confident that Stephon Diggs is going to have a big day. I don't know how you see it, though, and I'd be interested to hear, because 7.5 receptions is a very high total for any player.
I'd feel a lot better if this number said 6.5. They don't make this easy. That's why they pay us the big bucks.
Yeah.
I'm going to go more, though. Like I said, with Cole Beasley banged up and all that. I know Diggs has got an oblique thing going on as well, so he's not 100% healthy. But I will go more here. I could see an 8 or 9 catch day for sure, but I want to lean less on Beasley.
Look at his reception totals down the stretch, though. I mean, he only had one. He didn't have one game since week 9 that he finished with fewer than 7 receptions. Now, granted, he did have during that stretch 2 games that he finished with 7 receptions on the dot, but everything else, those reception totals, 9, 10, 11, and in a game where they got to have it, I see Diggs being a big part of the offense. So, I'm going more on it.
All right, there we go. What are you thinking on Cole Beasley at 55.5 yards? It's pretty low, but we've been talking about him being banged up. He hasn't practiced in a week. I just hope he plays, because otherwise this whole contest is null and void.
I know. Damn it. I hope he does. And if he does, it's hard to imagine that he's not going to get to 55 yards, even if he just catches 7 measly Beasley passes. I didn't try to rhyme there, but it just kind of happened organically. 55.5. I'm actually going to go less if we're anticipating that Beasley is not going to be 100%. Then I think that it's going to be hard to accumulate 55 yards.
All right. I'm with you on that, because I don't like to go more across the board. It just it feels dirty, and it rarely ever happens, because I do want to go with more than 84.5 rushing yards for Jonathan Taylor. What do you
Okay.
think?
So it's hard not to, right? I mean, what? He dropped over 200 yards and 2 tutties. He decided to go ahead. It's finally like Frank Reich decided, okay, I'm finally going to go ahead and give this guy the ball. Took you long enough, Frank. To say is like, I don't want to overreact to 1 week. I feel as if the Bills are going to do everything they can to slow down Jonathan Taylor and force Phillip Rivers to beat him. Like that's what I would do if I'm heading into this matchup defensively. I'm trying to force P-Riv to get it done through the air because I don't want this kid, Jonathan Taylor, getting going. So I'm going to go less on Jonathan Taylor. 84.5 is still high to hit, but I can understand a world where you want to go over or more. Sorry.
It's tough for me. I think this number is really good. I see him being right around 90 yards, but if we want to hit this, we got to mix it up a little bit because it's these things are never easy. These 6 out of 6, you're getting 30x your buy-in. So I'm okay rolling the dice and going less. I do think the Bills, in terms of their game plan, I believe they're going to do everything they can to stop Jonathan Taylor and make P-Riv beat him. And I don't think P-Riv can beat him. So let's go.
So we see it different as far as how they're actually going to try to keep up with the Buffalo Bills. I mean, I look again. I think if I thought the Colts were going to win this game, I would be going heavier on Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
That's where I'm kind of trying to predict game flow here a little bit. And I think it's going to be Nyheim Hines who's still going to see plenty of work in the passing game. I just think we see more of him this week than I'd like to admit. So for that reason, yeah, I'm going to go less on Jonathan Taylor. But now to John Brown, 4.5 receptions. Beasley dinged up. May not play. Do we see John Brown getting to 5 receptions? You exhale after every single one.
Because they're good at this, man. They're really good at making the line. I think he's going to catch 4 balls.
I mean, let's put it this way. I mean, he missed a ton of time with an injury. He got his first action since week 10 last week against Miami. And guess what he caught? 4 balls. Shocker. But I'm actually going to say more. If we predict that Beasley's not going to have the same involvement and John Brown is back in the fold, then I think that's where I see a world where John Brown, gets just enough of an uptick in targets that gets him over the 5 gets him to the 5 reception threshold.
Yeah, I was going to say if Cole Beasley's healthy here, I'm definitely taking less. I am comfortable bumping it up to more here, just due to strictly to Cole Beasley being banged up. Hopefully Cole plays so that this whole contest isn't null and void. But yeah, I'm okay with that. So I'm only going to throw 2 on it though, because these are higher risk plays. So I'm trying to diversify and be smart here. So just to recap it, $2 will win you 60. We're going to go more than 299 passing yards, 299.5, I should say, for Josh Allen, more than 266.5 for P-Riv, more than 7.5 receptions for Stephon Diggs, less than 55.5 receiving yards for Beasley, less than 84.5 rushing yards for JT, and more than 4.5 receptions for John Brown.
That'll do it. So again, we're going to be breaking down all of the wild card weekend picks through Monkey Knife Fight. So go ahead and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also click the little bell, let you know whenever we're dropping a video here on Fantasy Focused. And again, if you're tuning in live, stay tuned because we're going to be dropping more of these videos here in just a couple of minutes. So Dried Ocean, Ilias Giptopoulos, Darren Murray, Fredley Jimenez, and of course our boy Dio, Dried Ocean. Thanks for joining us here live. But if you have not yet done so, go to monkeyknifefight.com, create an account. When you make that first deposit, use the promo code FOCUSED when you make your first deposit of up to $50. That's what Monkey Knife Fight will match into your account. So good luck. We got more videos coming at you. Until next time, later.